Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnantimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Teachings of Queen Kunti, Chapter 16. Returning to our natural consciousness. Apare Vasudevasya Devakyam Yachitobhyagat Ajastvam Asya Kshemaya Vadhaya Cha Suradvisham. Others say that since both Vasudeva and Devaki prayed for you, you have taken your birth as their son. Undoubtedly, you are unborn. Yet you take your birth for their welfare and to kill those who are envious of the demigods. It is also said that Vasudeva and Devaki in their previous birth as Sutapa and Prishni underwent a severe type of penance to get the Lord as their son. And as a result of such austerities, the Lord appeared as their son. It is already declared in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord appears for the welfare of all people in the world and to vanquish the asuras or the materialistic atheists. Okay, so one point here, that it's not that Krishna appeared as son of Vasudeva and Devaki because they did all these austerities. It's just pastimes, right? That it is they did austerities, and then in the third birth as parents they became Vasudeva and Devaki, and they got Krishna. But they are eternal parents of Krishna and Mathura. So we should not think that okay, somebody can do austerities and can take up position of Vasudeva and Devaki. No, not possible. That is one. And that is true of all Vrajavasis or all those eternal associates of the Lord in his pastimes. We cannot take somebody's position. Except, I mean, in material world, for example, there's Brahma's position, there's Indra's position, etc. Right? Those are positions. But all the others are not positions. They are individuals. They are personalities who are there and who are eternally there. So we can't replace them. Right? That's offensive. Lord appears for the welfare of all people in the world and to vanquish the asuras. Who are the asuras? Materialistic atheists. So we should understand. So there are materialistic atheists. There are materialistic theists. Hmm. So materialistic atheists are people who are materialistic, but they don't believe in God or a higher power. They don't even believe in demigods. I mean, they have no concept of higher supreme powers. They're just self-centered, egoistic, materialistic people. So they are called asura. So we can understand that I mean, there are lots of asuras in Kali Yuga, right? All are most people are materialistic, but there are some among them who are also thieves. And of course, in India, we will find it, more thieves than atheists. And of course, their philosophy of their theistic understanding is very limited. But still, they have some understanding that they're okay. I believe in some God. But outside India, it's mostly materialistic atheists. So that way, the percentage of materialistic atheists are a lot more than materialistic theists. Of course, then materialistic theists, then worshippers of were mostly worshippers of various demigods. Then finally, worshippers of Vishnu. mm, Then comes devotion, right? So it's a long way. So we should understand, saying that we are such a small percentage of people, of human beings, who are actually trying to worship Krishna. It's really rare, right? That is why Krishna also says, Bhavanam Janmanam Ante. It's very rare that somebody comes to the platform of accepting that Krishna is everything. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. Because most people are materialistic atheists, especially in Kali Yuga. Lord says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tatatmanam sajamyam. Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice and a predominant rise of irreligion. What is this irreligion? Materialism. Materialistic atheists, basically. At that time, I designed myself. The words dharmasya glani mean irregularities in religion. When there are irregularities, religion becomes polluted. So polluted, religion becomes polluted. In human society, there must be a proper balance between spirit and matter. We are actually spirit soul, but somehow or other we have been encaged within material bodies. And as long as we have these bodies, we have to accept the bodily necessities of eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Although the soul itself does not need these things. The soul does not need to eat anything. Whatever we eat is for the upkeep of the body. So this whole thing, right? I mean, this is again ABCD for us, but since we keep forgetting, it's important to keep reminding us. As long as we have these bodies, we have to accept necessities. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending are necessities. Because there is the body, but so we don't engage in them more than required. Because the soul does not need these things. We're just trying to keep the body and soul together by these fulfilling these bodily necessities. So, as practicing devotees, we should understand that eating, sleeping, mating, defending are bodily necessities. They are not our main focus. Because the soul does not need to eat anything. Whatever we eat is for the upkeep of the body. So, when we, as practicing devotees, we are too attracted to eating more, prasadam is mercy. It doesn't mean that by eating more, we get more mercy. By eating one grain of the prasadam is also mercy. Eating more than what our stomach can hold is also mercy, but then that results in just being more attached on the bodily platform. So we should understand I have to just eat as much required for upkeep of the body. That's all. And we have to eat the right kind of food also, right? Because the body requires different kind of ingredients, whatever minerals, this, that, whatever it is, right? Protein, calcium, carb, all those kind of stuff, right? But if you just keep eating things that it is, satisfies our taste buds, then it's just sense gratification. But it's better than eating non-prasadam, because eventually we are expected to be purified of all this hankering for eating. Eventually, it doesn't happen overnight. It's not expected to happen overnight, because many a times it's only some of these things which actually hold us in bhakti truly. You know, and like many people came into Krishna consciousness when Prabhupada went to the West just because of eating prasadam. So prasadam and kirtan, though both are engaged in almost materially, right? Because they are spiritual activities, they benefit the jiva. However, the people engage with them almost with a material mindset, meaning, yeah, just some understanding that okay, this is connected to devotion, but really, what is their interest? Good tasting food, right? And good sounding kirtan. Now, while this is absolutely perfect, it's absolutely okay, right? Because it's very difficult for a jiva to get pulled out from his material attractions, right? So when Prasadam Kirtan attracts people to Krishna consciousness, it's a welcome. It's absolutely required. But the point is that subsequently, once they come in, they need to be trained and taught, and they need to understand philosophy, so that it's not that they just continue to remain that on that platform. And that is the responsibility of so-called preachers who are doing these outreach programs, getting people into Krishna consciousness. They have to make sure that this fact is understood, that bhakti is not about just satisfying our taste buds or our hearing melodious music. So it is important that we read Prabhupada's books, because only then we can understand that this is not bhakti. This is called bhakti abhasa. This is a semblance of bhakti. Abhasa. It's not really bhakti. But a civilization that simply looks after these bodily necessities and does not care for the necessities of the soul is a foolish, unbalanced civilization. Suppose one merely washes one's coat but does not take care of one's body. Or suppose one has a bird in a cage but merely takes care of the cage, not the bird within it. This is foolishness. The bird is crying, ka, ka, give me food, give me food. If one only takes care of the cage, how can the bird be happy? So Prabhupada is saying we should not remain on this platform of just fulfilling bodily necessities. That is foolishness. We should take care of the necessities of the soul as well. So the big question, why are we unhappy? $1 zillion question. In the Western countries, there is no scarcity of wealth, no scarcity of food, no scarcity of cars, and no scarcity of sex. Everything is available in full abundance. Then why is there still a section of people who are frustrated and confused like the hippies? They are not satisfied. Why? Because there is no balance. Please note this. We are taking care of the necessities of the body, but we have no information of the soul and its necessities. The soul is the real substance, and the body is only a covering. Therefore, neglect of the soul is a form of dharmasya glani, pollution of duty. Actually, this is also a question that as practicing devotees, we should ask ourselves, why am I happy in Krishna consciousness? If not, why? Then we will get answers to where we stand. And then it's an important question to actually ask. And if we are happy, but we are also sad, meaning we are happy at times, we are sad at times, which also means that that doesn't look like spiritual happiness. It looks like material happiness, right? So it's important to introspect, because in spiritual, when we're on the spiritual platform, there's only spiritual happiness. There's nothing like spiritual distress. Of course, I mean, separation from Krishna, etc. But that is also another just form of bliss. That's all. So it's just spiritual happiness. There's nothing like distress, like in material distress. So Prabhupada is translated dharmasya glanihi as pollution of duty. So Prabhupada is saying the word dharma means duty. Although the word dharma is often translated as religion, and religion is generally defined as a kind of faith, dharma is not in fact a kind of faith. Dharma means one's actual constitutional duty. So if somebody is having trouble explaining to people about different religions, etc., this is a very nice definition. Dharma means one's actual constitutional duty. It is not a kind of faith. It is one's duty to know the needs of the soul. So this is also very nice. When you say one's actual constitutional duty, and we talk about, okay, Swarupa, this, that, and all, people can't relate to it. So then we should say, yes, see, you're not the body, you're spirit, soul. So you know the needs of the body. Do you know the needs of the soul? That is dharma. That's all. Such a beautiful, simple definition. But unfortunately, we have no information of the soul and are simply busy supplying the necessities for bodily comfort. Bodily comfort, however, is not enough. Suppose a man is very comfortably situated. Does he mean he will not die? Of course not. We speak of a struggle for existence and survival of the fittest. But bodily comforts alone cannot enable anyone to exist or survive permanently. Therefore, taking care of the body only, see, doesn't say that we should not take care of the body. Please note this. It says taking care of the body only, meaning ignoring the needs of the soul. That is dharmasya glani. And this is also very important actually. Sometimes either we overdo this or we underdo this, meaning we either overly are concerned about our body or we are very callous. We just not bothered at all. Now, both are a bit dangerous. Now, it depends on what stage of bhakti we are in. Of course, giving too much importance to the body is just avidya, right? It's just bodily attachment, and we have to come out of it. And like we discussed yesterday, we have to build tolerance, and as the tolerance improves, increases, then slowly we'll come to the platform of understanding. Oh, okay, I'm actually not this body. So we should absolutely not encourage this being too overly concerned about the body. We have to fight it. And of course, pure devotees, they don't even bother about their body. No, but we should not imitate this platform. We should be very clear. We should first understand what are the qualities of pure devotees. Apart from just a high level definition of saying that they're just, doing everything for the pleasure of Krishna, there are so many other things, right? So it has to be clearly understood. And then we should, one of the things we should understand, characteristic of a pure devotee at that platform who doesn't care of his body, about his body, is that even though whatever is the situation of his body is, his devotional service does not reduce. It doesn't come down, meaning his body is not running on physical strength. His body or his activities of his body are running on spiritual strength. So even though his body is sick and he's not taking care of it, because of spiritual strength, he will get up for Mangalarti, he will jump in Kirtan, he will chant, he will do reading, he will do preaching, he will do everything. When we are in that stage, then we can say, okay, I am ignoring my body. Right? But till then, Prabhupada said that amongst the various things that are of importance for practicing devotees, the first one is health. So we have to balance this becoming too bodily attached versus still trying to maintain health. Because if we can't maintain health in our conditioned state, it's our very initial stages of bhakti, it's very difficult for us to pull ourselves together to do any kind of bhakti. But at the same time, if we become too attached, then we again go into bodily conception. So we have to balance this. We have to take care of the body, yet not be too attached to it. And it requires, like always, Prabhupada says, all of these things require guidance of, advanced devotees, spiritual masters, like that, right? So, but that's very important to note. One must know the necessities of the body and also the necessities of the soul. The real necessity in life is to supply the comforts of the soul. And the soul cannot be comforted by material adjustments because the soul is a different identity. The soul must be given spiritual food, and that spiritual food is Krishna consciousness. When one is diseased, he must be given the proper diet and proper medicine. Both are required. If he is simply given medicine but not a proper diet, the treatment will not be very successful. This is our problem with our current medical system. Except for Ayurvedic doctors, qualified Ayurvedic doctors who will give medicine and proper diet. Most of the other practices of medicine just give you medicine. They don't advise you on proper diet. So treatment will not be very successful, and this is true. This can be experienced. So just an aside. So both medicine and proper diet is important if somebody is unwell. Therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement is meant to give both the proper medicine and proper diet for the soul. What is the diet? Diet is Krishna Prasada, food that has first been offered to Krishna. And what is the medicine? Hare Krishna mantra. So please remember this Krishna Prasada and Hare Krishna mantra. Both have to happen. And we know we have enough attraction to Krishna Prasada. So which is one part of the problem is solved. And the other is Hare Krishna mantra. And like we were discussing yesterday, the mood of chanting actually is very, very important. And that can, really propel us on the path forward. Yeah, so we have to focus. Most of our energy should be on this, right? Of course, then we have to also understand initially when we are struggling with chanting, chanting is always we struggle with chanting till our hearing or historically reading uh, is up to. If reading is not up to the mark, then our chanting will suffer. So if those devotees, I've seen many people send sadhana charts, and mostly it is just chanting and some service. So like you're going to find it very difficult to make progress without hearing, without reading, right? And hearing is a bit. People are confused about hearing. Hearing doesn't mean hearing. Hearing means hearing from Prabhupada. Not hearing from so many speakers who are out there today, right? First, we have to hear from Prabhupada. He is our first original main Shiksha Guru. We don't want to hear from him. And how do I hear from him? By reading his purports. I hear from him. So first I have to hear from him. Then I can hear others. So that is why we call that reading, just to make it more clear, explicit. So Prabhupada's books are the basis. Please don't forget this. How will we understand Prabhupada's books? There's no other way. Of course, if somebody is reading Prabhupada's books and explaining, that is fine. But otherwise, if we just ignore the reading business, then our chanting will get seriously affected. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen over a period of time. Right, and the other thing which is most important, we have to understand, remember this. Don't neglect reading, because reading only gives you a systematic understanding of Krishna. Hearing will never give you a systematic understanding, because hearing is always random, meaning you hear something from here, something from there, something from somewhere else, all random topics. But if you have to understand Krishna, we have to go very systematically. And what is that systematic hearing? Is Bhagavatam. Right? When we come to Bhagavatam, and systematically we hear from verse 1 till last verse of 12th canto. That is systematic hearing. And that systematic hearing from Prabhupada is what is going to help us understand. Bhagavan, Bhakti, Bhakta. All these three things. And if we are not doing this sincerely, our chanting will get affected. Chanting will become material, meaning too many material thoughts. So no focus, no concentration. But those devotees who do regular serious reading of Prabhupada's books, their chanting is much, much better than others. And it will always keep improving, because something or the other Prabhupada is saying you will incorporate in your life, which means that your life became more purer. The more purer your day is, the more purer your chanting is. So simple. So please don't ignore reading Prabhupada's books. It's become like unfortunately, like a disease, contagious disease. Nobody wants to read books. Nobody wants to read books. Why did Prabhupada write then? For whom did he write? Prabhupada said, before you distribute my books, you read. Today, unfortunately, we are neither reading books nor distributing books. See, if you are not reading at all, how will we get the desire to distribute them? When we read them and they profuse the impact our life, then we'll say, oh, why not we give this to other people also? Why not they also experience this mercy? So we don't read, we don't distribute. And these are the cornerstones of our movement, isn't it? And Srila Prabhupada was present visibly in front of everybody. What was this whole thing was about book distribution, Harinam book distribution, Harinam book distribution. Not Yagna, Prasada, festival. Yeah, Yagna anyway. I mean, Prabhupada had no interest in doing any Yagna. Even while in Krishna Balram Mandir, Vrindavan, he said, yeah, local Brahmanas will object, so let them do whatever they want. You keep doing Kirtan. But we are getting too diverted to do all these things. We are getting too much into Vedic way of deity worship and all that. But where is the focus on reading? Where is the focus on book distribution? And like Krishna says, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya parata chetasam vyavasayatmaka buddhi samadho no vidiyate. Vyavasayatmika buddhi, our time, intelligence, everything is just spread out. Trying to do so many things. Then obviously focus on reading goes down, focus on distributing books goes down. So we should understand, we should simply try to follow Prabhupada, what he taught us. And that will make our life, our preaching efforts, everything successful. We should not get distracted by all this. These were not being done when Prabhupada was there, simply put. निवृत्ततर्षेरुपगीयमानाद् भवौषधाच्योत्रमनोभिरामात् क उत्तमश्लोकगुणानुवादात् पुमान् विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नात्. Parikshit Maharaj said to the great soul Shukadev Goswami, the discourses on Srimad Bhagavatam that you are giving me are not ordinary. These Bhagavata discourses are relishable for persons who are Nivritta Trishna, see, free from hankering. So who will relish Bhagavatam? Who are free from material hankering. Everyone in this material world is hankering for enjoyment, but one who is free from this hankering can taste how relishable the Bhagavatam is. And this is also, this we see people are reading Bhagavatam for years together, and there's just no progress. They're not getting any taste. Now, what is the reason for this? Nivritta Trishna. They are not Nivritta Trishna. They are Krishna. They are hankering for enjoyment. So they'll never get taste to relish the Bhagavatam. The word Bhagavata refers to anything in relationship to Bhagavan, Supreme Lord, and the Hare Krishna mantra is also Bhagavata. And so Prabhupada is giving a different definition here. Thus, Parikshit Maharaj said that the taste of the Bhagavata can be relished by one who is free from hankering to satisfy material desires. That means one who is not hankering to satisfy material desires will relish Bhagavatam, will also relish chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Japa. I won't say Kirtan, because Kirtan is also musically influenced, right? So he will have taste, he will relish chanting Hare Krishna mantra, doing Japa, and he will relish reading Srimad Bhagavatam. Who is free from hankering. So it's a very simple tool analysis, right? We don't have desire, we don't have taste for reading Bhagavatam. That means that we are hankering after material desires. Simple. See, because where there's a will, there's a way. Suppose say there are different kinds of people. Somebody is trying to read, but they're not able to understand. What will they do? They will not lose interest. They will find somebody who has the time and willingness to help them, teach them, get out of them, they pester them, because they have the taste, but they're not able to understand. But those who don't have, who are hankering after material desires, they're not going to have taste. They're going to read, no taste, leave it. And then what will happen to chanting Hare Krishna, full of Nama Parad? So basically futile sadhana, not helping. Why should this Bhagavata be tasted? Oh, Shadhi. It is the medicine for our disease of birth and death. Bhavaushadhat Shrotra Manobhiramat. So we have to take this medicine every day. Nobody can say that, see, at the present moment, we are in a disease condition. Materialists do not know what disease, what is health. They do not know anything. But still they are posing as great scientists and philosophers. They do not inquire, I do not want to die. Why is death enforced upon me? Nor do they have any solution to this problem. So because they know there's no solution, I mean, in their understanding, they don't ask this question. But still they call themselves scientists. What kind of scientists are they? Advancement in science should bring about knowledge by which misery can be minimized. Otherwise, what is the meaning of science? Scientists may promise that they can help us in the future, but we may ask them, why are you giving us, what are you giving us right now, sir? A real scientist will not say, just go on suffering as you are suffering now. And in the future, we shall find some chemicals to help you. No. Atyantika dukkha nivritti. The word Atyantika means ultimate. Dukkha means sufferings. The aim of human life should be to put an end to the ultimate sufferings. But people do not even know what these ultimate sufferings are. These sufferings are pointed out in Bhagavad Gita, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. What we have done to nullify these sufferings, there is no remedy for them in the material world. The ultimate way to relinquish all kinds of suffering is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world which is full of miseries because they've attained the highest perfection. Paramam gataha. They went to the supreme destination. So they've attained the highest perfection. So they will never return to this temporary world. And this is the only way by which we can, this is the ultimate way to relinquish all kinds of suffering. Okay, so I'll stop here. If anybody has any questions, comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, just now you explained that Bhagavatam, if we read and we still have hankering material desires, then we will not have taste for Bhagavatam, and also our japa will not be good.
Yeah.
But this hankering is there, right? This seems to be a problem statement, correct? Means what is the reason?
So what is the answer? You only give the answer.
So,
solution,
I think, means, but here it seems like to me the solution is to read it and do the japa and
read it. Just keep reading. Just don't give it up. Like I said, no, see, if you're reading, you're not getting taste. Read it with people who have taste.
Yes.
See, always solution to most common solution to all problems is association. In general, I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't have the taste, read with people who have taste, and then you will understand why I don't have taste. Bro, there's so much of taste here.
Correct.
Then we'll figure out what our problem is, right? See the beauty about Krishna consciousness, right? Which again many devotees fail to understand. We are not focusing on the negatives. We are not here to focus on the negatives. We are here to focus on the positives, but we recognize the negatives. See, without recognizing that, okay, I'm materially attached, I can't come out of it. But we are not the Gnani types who will think, oh, I'm materially attached, so then I will give this up, I'll give this up, neti, neti, neti. No, we are not that. Because we're going to fail, right?
Yeah.
So the beauty of our process is, yes, I am materially attached. It's fine. I need to get out of it. Okay, solution, spiritual activities. Vishya vinivartante nirarasya dehinah rasavarjam rasopyasya. That higher taste we have to experience. Higher taste we experience only in devotional activities. So somehow pull ourselves, make sure that we continue to engage in spiritual activities. And automatically the material attachments, the negativities will all go. Because many devotees brood too much about their negativities. Oh, I'm like this, I'm like that, I'm not able to make progress. It's of no use. You're just pulling even existing little enthusiasm also will get killed.
Yes.
But we are not ignorant also. We are just, no, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, I'm no, I'm like perfect. No bad qualities or this quality. No, we be realistic. That's why Prabhupada said we are realistic. We are not optimistic, we are not pessimistic. We are realistic. Realistic means, yes, okay, this is my fallen state. Okay, but I have the most powerful tool with me. I have the most powerful process with me. So I'm not bothered. I will keep doing it and I know that I will get over. Simple.
Sure, Prabhuji. So basically we have to just be consistent even though we are doing means we are not.
Yeah, and again, if you're not consistent, then figure out a way to become consistent. Right? Let yourself be beaten up by some devotee. I mean, whatever it is, right? I'm saying like basically we each of us have to figure out. What is it that I need to do so that I can remain consistent, I can develop taste? And like I keep saying, most of the best common answer before you ask me any question from now on, right? First thing is solution, the answer, the association, the answer to this question. Most of the times it will be yes. Most of the times, initially for us, most of the times the answer will be get association. And like I keep saying, get association doesn't mean online association. This is a new thing of today, right? Online association. But what is online association? Simply we hear, of course, if you're sincerely hearing, at least we will bring about some changes in our life. But we have to see offline association means we work in association with other devotees and preferably more advanced devotees. Then we will learn by seeing them, right? We will learn by getting guidance from them because we'll be doing something, then they'll tell us, they'll guide us, we'll hear from them. So, in multiple ways, we will learn. And because of their bhakti or purity in bhakti, we get influenced also. We get charged up. All that cannot happen in online, right? So, online is a second class association, it's not first class. First class is physical association, face to face, in person. Okay. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Vinod here. So, quick
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
So we just talked about systematic hearing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, so what is it supposed to be? I mean, is it reading or hearing Prabhupada or listening to Guru Maharaj? So what is that process? Because in a day, I mean, for a regular, person
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
working,
Time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the right way to spend?
Yeah.
Because when I inquired from other God
Yeah.
brothers, so they
Yeah.
kind of said, yeah, it's very important to listen to Guru Maharaj first,
Yeah.
okay,
No,
and
first,
then
no,
Srila
no, not,
Prabhupada. Yeah.
no. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Right? Because
Mm,
see, we have to first understand what is the process of Krishna consciousness, right? The process of Krishna consciousness, like I said, the first Siksha Guru for us is Prabhupada.
mm-hmm,
Now, the
mm-hmm.
fact that we have come to certain stage in our life where we are considering a guru and we have not read Prabhupada itself is a big blunder, right? So we
Yeah.
can't get into that stage at all, right? So we are asking a
Mm,
question which should not have happened in the first place, right?
mm,
Because every person who comes into Krishna consciousness is first advised to read Srila Prabhupada's books. How does one come to the process of even or stage of even considering getting initiated, right? Is that
mm.
first he has read, understood Prabhupada's books, and then he is going to evaluate a guru,
Right.
right?
Yes.
So, and of course, most gurus have this prerequisite also saying that somebody should have read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam to some
Mm-hmm,
extent
mm-hmm.
at least, right? So,
Correct.
and if we have not read Prabhupada's books, then what is our understanding of Krishna consciousness? How are we going to evaluate who is the right guru for me? How are we going to surrender
Mm-hmm.
to the guru? Now it's all an incomplete. I mean,
Right. So
it's
yeah,
just
that's how it all started for me, reading Prabhupada's books and then
now that should
listening
remain.
to
That cannot
lectures.
that
Okay.
that cannot stop at all, Prabhu.
Mm-hmm,
Reading Prabhupada's books
mm-hmm.
is an eternal affair, right?
Okay.
So even if somebody is come to the stage of initiation, etc. Now, please, one thing we have to
Mm,
understand, right? And especially this initiation thing, I want to highlight to people. See, initiation means
mm,
that Krishna consciousness is the most important thing in our life. Or actually, wrong statement. Krishna consciousness is the only important thing in our life, right? When we come to
mm-hmm.
that stage, one has to get initiated, right? If Krishna consciousness is the only important thing in our life, our first job is to figure out the time,
Mm,
right? So for
right.
example, the way I normally tell people is if suppose say you have 1 hour time in a day, and you should have 1 hour time in a day, right? Apart
Mm,
from your chanting, if you're serious about
mm-hmm.
Krishna consciousness, read Prabhupada for 40 minutes. Read
Okay.
whoever you want to hear from for 20 minutes, right?
Mm,
And that's
okay.
how it has to be, right? So it can't be that there is no reading, there's no hearing about Prabhupada and just reading from, whoever you're aspiring from, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that will put us on a completely wrong footing, and that's not something that is expected by initiating spiritual masters also, because they
Okay.
themselves read Prabhupada every day. What is our qualification to stop reading Prabhupada? Hmm? And what is the initiation? I mean, any guru, right? He'll just say this first is your sadhana is reading Prabhupada, hearing from Prabhupada, right? So yeah, this is my recommendation. I mean, I don't know. I'm really surprised to hear that somebody is saying start. Don't read Prabhupada. Read only.
No, it's not don't read. It's not don't read. So then, I mean, like, yeah, if you're aspiring for this Gurumana, it's important to hear from that
No,
Guru
important to hear.
first.
Absolutely, absolutely. Without hearing, one should not even decide on a spiritual master, right? Because
Correct,
how do we
correct.
decide on a spiritual master? When we have heard, we have understood his mode of service in Srila Prabhupada's mission, when we find alignment between me as a soul and that Guru, right? All this happens only by Shravanam. And it's not just Shravanam, actually, by the way, right? For others who are also hearing, yeah, identifying who your future spiritual master is going to be. Is about hearing, is about meeting personally, conversing, seeing that particular spiritual master in action in terms of how they're spreading, how so it's not just about also remote just Shravanam also, right? So anyway, so the point is that Prabhupada has to be Prabhupada reading, hearing Prabhupada has to happen as the major part of our, like I was telling some devotee yesterday also. If I have reading plus hearing time, right? 70% of the reading plus hearing time should be reading Prabhupada, right? And then 30%, of course. Now, sometimes we have extra time, right? Suddenly I got some extra time. No problem. Then you can do some extra hearing if you wish, right? But structured on a day-to-day sadhana should be designed or such a way that reading Prabhupada is a major part of our sadhana.
Sure, Prabhu. Sure.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for clarifying.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Akshay Prabhu.
Prabhuji, so how do I get means? So,
how do you get?
Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that you said that I need to get in touch with advanced devotees for the reading part so that it is going in a structured and better manner. So how do I do that? Because I'm not sure that how to get in touch with advanced devotees. Like, so for example, the devotees that I know are at I think at my level only, right? So most of them don't read, correct? So
Yeah, so I mean, see, basically this question, general principle is that we should be taking guidance from a particular devotee in our spiritual life, right? And if you are taking guidance from a particular devotee in your spiritual life, then the expectation is that devotee is capable of guiding you.
yeah.
If that devotee is not capable of guiding you, then you are in bad association or you're not very fortunate. Then you have to go find the right association, find the right devotee circles where people can see. Generally what happens is, suppose say there's a system like different kinds of preaching processes are also there. For example, there's something called Bhakti Vriksha. Now in a Bhakti Vriksha there are only 7-8 people and there's one person who's trying to help people understand bhakti, etc. Now that person might not be an expert in, like, might not be like very advanced than others, but he knows more definitely. But there will be somebody who is his, whom he is kind of reporting into, who is senior to him, who will possibly be able to answer these questions, or somebody is above him, like that, right? And then so we should always try to understand, saying that if whatever level of, so suppose I have some questions and I ask, and I'm not getting very convincing or clear answers from the person who is immediate person, right? Then we can request, saying that can I speak to some other devotee? I have some questions, I'm not seeing. And the devotee should not be egoistic. I mean, normally devotees are willing to help. So I'll say, yeah. No, I'm not able to answer you fully. Let me put you in touch with, a person whom I take guidance from. He'll be the right person to help you. Right. But so we have to make this effort to get to the person who you get confidence in, saying that, okay, if I take guidance from him, then I will make spiritual progress. And they are the different Shiksha gurus in our lives who bring us to the platform of actually us doing a good job of actually selecting a Diksha Guru, right? Uh, so this is important, and every devotee has to put this effort to figure it out. It's not going to come by itself, right? Yeah, sometimes it happens, but there is effort involved, right? There's effort involved. You need to go and use the existing structures, people that you are in touch with. If you are not satisfied with the inputs that they are giving, then you speak to them, take their help, and figure out the right people. But it has to be somebody more advanced than us. That we have to understand. It's a very simple rule of thumb.
Yes, Prabhuji, I will try for that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Okay. We'll close. Look at Guru Srila
Yes,
Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, one guidance.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No issues. Yeah.
One guidance I want from you, like when we are hearing Guru Maharaj's lectures, so I just wanted to know what sequence we should listen in. Like there are latest lectures which are coming on YouTube,
Yeah.
then there is the app, and then there are in the app they are category wise, like Bhagavad Gita,
Okay.
Bhagavatam, Desi. I just want how to hear them.
Okay.
Like,
So just for
and
the
the
benefit
old
of
ones
every
are also covered.
Yeah, so just for setting context, Ruchira Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Vikas Maharaj. So she's asking because there's a lot of content that is available. How should we consume? There is no hard and fast rule. It is there are different devotees take different approaches. Like some devotees take chronological approach, meaning from first lecture to last lecture, right? And because there's thousands of lectures, so it will take few years for us to get over or come to current lectures, right? Some devotees go by inspiration. Um, some devotees go by topics. For example, there are so many seminar topics that Maharaj has spoken about. So you can in the app you can say uh, seminars and like that. So then there'll be more, and those seminars are more helpful for improving sadhana, those kind of stuff, right? So it depends on your inspiration. If you don't have any particular inspiration, I would say chronological is better. But what you should also do when people who are doing chronological, they should also hear latest lectures because um, every and Maharaj says himself that that current affairs, what are the current challenges, etc., also has to be understood while also understanding from base from foundationally what his philosophy is, what his advice, or approach to Krishna consciousness is. So somebody who is doing that time base should also include current ones in some order, in some fashion. But it's a big challenge because generally, like Maharaj, every day there's a lecture which comes out, right? So unless we have time, and Maharaj lectures are not like 30 minutes, so if 1 hour, 10 minutes, if we don't have so much time of hearing time, then we'll always be backlogged. So yeah, a little bit you have to explore, and then you will find your groove, I would say.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anand Koti Vaishnav ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitānaṁ Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Dhanavad.